Welcome to Ulua. You live, you work, you art.
Hi, this is Karen from Ulua, and I am going to talk today about something which I think you already have having some kind of experience like this. Um, when you admire somebody, for example, uh, you admire them because they are a celebrity and maybe you would like to have the life that they have right now, or because they have traveled around the world, because they have specific knowledge that you really love to know more about, and you call them masters or teachers, or you follow them, or you think they are their mentors. Maybe they are your mentors, maybe they are your masters, maybe they are your teachers, and you really admire them and you really want to be like them in so many ways. And then you have them, like, idealize them, and you have them like in a pedestal, and you think they are the best at what they do, and maybe they are the best at what they do and what they teach and everything, but you don't really know that person at his core, or as its whole, like a whole person. You just know that part that they show when you are in the classes or that kind of thing. So it happened to me. It was a long time ago. I had this kind of person. I'm going to give you several examples because I remember about several things. And I had this kind of admiration for a teacher that I used to have. And she is actually great at what she does, and she's great at explaining, and she's great, just really great in the things that she does. And at least she had always been right with me and with friends in the situations we had lived until this moment that I'm going to talk about. And so we loved her because she was lovely. Maybe she was not that charismatic and that kind of thing, but she knew a lot and she explained really well. So I had some friends at the time also that we really admire her, and we even promoted her to other people. So when the time came when she went to give some classes to other people that we had been saying, oh, she's great, you will love her, and you will feel great because she knows so much, and she's kind, and she's this and this and this, which had been our experience up to that moment. And then a big deception happened, because when we were with these other people that we were promoting her, she was completely the opposite. She was grumpy, she was not paying attention and not caring for the students, she was even rude sometimes. And me and my friends that we had been promoting her all the time and saying, you will have a great time, to our other colleagues and friends, the other ones were like confused. So at that time I said, maybe I didn't really fully know this person. Actually, I guess I didn't, because otherwise, or I had a lot of regrets in the things. Maybe I should have not promoted her that much because I didn't fully know her. But from my experience, it had been great until that time. So it was kind of difficult because I felt like it was not the right, it wasn't the person that I used to know. We could say that. And actually, I stopped going to most of the classes then. I also felt deception. I guess the deception came mostly from us, the ones promoting her, than from the other people. But then I had a huge learning with that experience, and I thought, well, maybe I should be more careful when I meet somebody, that they could be great in a context or bad in a context, and the opposite in other contexts, with other people, in other places, I don't know. So, and then it happened to me, this kind of thing, and it is until today that I don't really know if I should have said something. I don't know, but I had this case when I went into an office, and I have been working in this matter as a coach for like 15 years now. At the time, it must have been like 10 years or more. And I remember I arrived and somebody said, "Oh, I'm your fan. I really like your work and everything," and yada yada yada. And I just, I must have looked to this person like I was a bitch, because I just said, "Oh, thank you." First of all, because I didn't expect this kind of thing to happen to me, and second of all, I think it was because I thought, I don't know. I don't know if I like this kind of thing. But I didn't say anything because it was just, I was taken by surprise. And third, because I don't believe that I'm special or that I somebody to be admired for, I don't know. And it was kind of awkward for me, maybe for the other person too, because I wasn't expecting that, so I was like surprised. And actually, there were some other people that were saying, "Oh, she has a fan," and that kind of thing. And I think maybe I should have reacted saying, "It's not good to say those kind of things." I don't know, but I didn't really know how to act. So if the person is listening to now, I didn't know how to react to that. So I think it was a mistake, not react, or at least not saying something like, "No, you shouldn't admire me." But if you do that kind of thing, it's also awkward. I don't know. Maybe if you have some idea and you want to tell me, how would you react to that? But now in hindsight, I can see that that is not good, being put into the pedestal, because you always fall from that place when you are supposed. For example, if you watch me right now and you think, "Oh, this person is great because she talks about this," but I can also be a bad guy sometimes, and I can also be a bit a witch, like the song says. Because it will depend on the circumstances, and because you only know me, for example, in this case, just when I'm talking out loud, and maybe expect me to be in a certain way. It has to be with our expectations. And if you admire something and you are a fan of someone, you believe that they are a god and they are great and they are everything you want in the world, and that's just another person that's there. Maybe they know a little more, or maybe a lot more than you in certain topics, or again, they have traveled the world, I don't know, like 40 countries, and they know about certain places, or they may know more about something, but it doesn't mean that they know everything, or they are to be admired because of that. And also because you're putting all your expectations and you're putting all your faith, I would say, I don't know if faith is the word, or you're putting all your bets on that person, and that person can deceive you because they are just another person like you, like me. And I don't know, I feel that's not good. That's not good, admiring that much people. But I learned the hard way. I learned through, in the case of this teacher, I also learned that from a friend. Again, because it's not the same being with a person just out for coffee and then having to live with a person, for example. It brings up other challenges, and maybe the two people are not that do not have the same values. And it happened to me, for example, with a friend when we went for a retreat. We always had a good time. I know she was some kind of a grumpy person sometimes, but I thought, well, we are going out to worship. Luckily, it was with so many other people, so and we didn't end up breaking up as friends either. But I knew other, I would say, other behaviors that she had that didn't or hadn't shown up before, because, and maybe this happened the same about me in the other case, if you ask her, I don't know. For example, she was super picky with the food. She was, and maybe that's what I noticed, because I'm the opposite. Of course, you noticing the opposite kind of things. She was grumpy. She didn't like the food. She didn't like having sometimes to talk to other people, though we were in a retreat where there were so many other people. And well, those kind of things that for me, they sounded like a bit strange, at least. And again, I didn't break up the relationship with her. We continued to be friends. But again, in my case, I didn't expect my friend to be the perfect one. I knew she was a person, and I know she is a person, and she knows I am a person. But even in that case, what I'm trying to say is that when you expect too much, or when you expect certain things from people, for example, in our case, we didn't know what to expect because it was the first time going together as friends to these kind of places. But for example, I know that I will never go again to another retreat with her, because we are not a good match for that kind of situations. That doesn't mean that we can go out for coffee like we used to, or like we are used to. And so yes, this has to do with expectations, but I think that is unhealthy, in the sense of mentally unhealthy, to admire people, to put them in and at the top, because you are expecting from them perfection. You are expecting from them they can't fail, they can't make mistakes, and life is about making mistakes. That is why I say I can be the bad guy, and I have been so many times. I was thinking the other day, I was remembering the other day about sometimes I used to not quarrel, but we had discussion with a person I really admire. Again, I don't admire in the sense of he's like a guru or a master. I really like this person because he was sincere at the time with me, and I guess I was with him, but we used to to fight a lot over things at work, and because we had different points of view. But I don't think of this person as a master or as my guru, my mentor. And I think having a mentor is a good idea, and I do have some mentors, but I don't expect them to be the know-it-all person. They are just people, again, like you and me, that maybe they can be your mentor in a certain topic. I have some mentors in coaching, for example, and I do believe they are great at coaching, but does that mean that they are great as a person? I might like them, but that doesn't mean they are completely perfect. They have their own issues too. As I do, as you do. And in my case, I think I have deceived this person that I was talking about. That was my fan, used to be my fan. Because during that time at that office, even though we didn't, we weren't working together all the time. We had some interactions, and we didn't really match our styles. So that's only my guess. I think she might have felt some kind of deception. Because I think that every time you put somebody like they are gods and we should pray for them and that kind of thing, it's never going to end in a good way. So I guess this is actually a place where I would like to, and I will keep on thinking of this, I'm sure, but what should be my reaction the next time this kind of thing happen. And even though in my case, I try to be the best I can every time, when working with people, when interacting with anyone, even at the street or anything, I sometimes had bad days too, and which is not a justification at all, but you never know. Or even sometimes when you come with good intentions, you can hurt other people too, because they thought that you were saying something like, well, I will mention now a case. You were saying something that for you was just like normal, or in your place, your culture, your society, it is okay to say those kind of things, and maybe for the other person that was hearing that was inappropriate, was outrageous, was, you name it. So, and this has happened to me once at another office when I was I don't even remember what I was talking about, but it was about something that had happened, and it had absolutely nothing to do with this person. But we were having a team conversation, and she walked out of the room crying, and I didn't know what had happened, and so we were just ending the meeting, and I walked away after her and asked what had happened, and she said, no, because you said this in the meeting because of me. I had no clue that, or what were the exact words that made her cry. It had absolutely nothing to do with her. And so we can hurt even not knowing. Even if you don't want to hurt somebody, you can hurt them, and maybe several years or months will pass by and you don't even notice this because the other person doesn't say anything. That has also happened to me in another office, that somebody was mad at me because something that I had supposedly done, and it wasn't, well, nothing like that. So these kind of things happens because we are human, right? And yes, now it's funny. Now I laugh about it because it has passed. Many years now have passed, and because I have been able to tackle, I guess, those kind of things. Maybe there have been others that I haven't even noticed, that I have no clue about. And for example, the other day I had this. This is what I was going to talk when I remember just now. If you remember, I had this episode a few weeks ago. If not the last one, well, I don't remember quite. When we were talking about the givers and the takers and the matchers. And I had a friend calling me the other day, and she said, should I be mad at you? And I said, why? Of course, she was like kind of laughing. And I said, why? And she said, because you said that I am a taker. When did I say that you are a taker? And it was funny because she said, well, because you said that we tend to pair up and do things together, and and we started laughing, both of us. And I said, no, I didn't say you were, but I can see that you are a neurotic.
Beep.
Because, as we are talking about this kind of disorders in the book, we are talking about the road less traveled. Sometimes when you are a neurotic person, you tend to blame yourself. So you are constantly in the lookout for what is that you are doing badly, or that you have done the wrong way. Or is this person talking about what I did? Those kind of things. And I know because I also do that. But now I know that that I am not the center of the universe. And I also know that maybe even though I can take something from what the other people are saying, that doesn't mean that it's about me. I can associate that maybe, I might have done that this person is talking about in the past, and this and this and this, or maybe I should change this, because I tend to think about those kind of things and how I can improve what I'm doing, or my way of behaving, or whatever it is. But it doesn't mean that the other person is talking about me. In that case, it's not talking personally, but that could be a topic for another video, so I don't want to go out there that much. And so again, if you have a person like you admire so much, it is okay to admire somebody, but be conscious about that specific thing that you like about the person, because you don't know that, well, unless you do. But in general, we have these parasocial interactions, parasocial relationships, that you only know a little bit of that person because you are watching them on a video or in a movie, or in this like kind of situations. And or even at work, maybe you see somebody at work that they are a bad person at work, and maybe with their family they are amazing, or the other way around. So you just know a little bit of that person in the specific context that you are in. And I got delusions. I got disillusion. Is that a word? Disillusion? I got this disappointed. That's the word I'm looking for. I got disappointed a lot of times, especially when I was younger, when I used to read, I don't know, certain people, and I really admired their work, and I really thought that they were amazing at what they did. Comedians, writers, musicians, all kind of people, dancers. And I used to say, oh, they are great, they do this amazingly well and everything. But if you dig a little deeper into their lives, maybe they beat their children or their spouses. They were not really good people at all. Maybe they had some kind of shady, we could say, ideology or religion or beliefs or things. So maybe they were great in this aspect of their life, in the produce or the thing they were doing and getting out in the world, but maybe they weren't that good at the personal level. So just have in mind that. And this happens again because we are humans. So that's part of us, I guess, being humans. Anyways, I don't want to ramble that much, because that's what I wanted to tell you, these little stories and things to reflect upon. And if you find this useful and would like to comment about how you interact or how you handle these kind of things, this admiration or fun, just comment on that. Just say what you mean, or mean what you say, and say what you want to say. And yes, have fun. And if you want to invite me for a coffee, you know how to do that. You can also share, sorry, and those kind of things, you know. Okay, thank you very much for being here, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Stay tuned for Uluwa's next episode.